Kids these days. It's a timeless complaint from parents in every generation. And for this generation of teens, the internet and social media dominates the concerns of parents. But it's a seamless part of their children's lives. So instead of dismissing their digital culture, all adults, whether parents or teachers, should learn to understand it. Good thing we have Danah Boyd, principal researcher at Microsoft Reacher, as well as the author of the book, It's Complicated, The Social Lives of Network Teens. She joins us now to demystify the kids these days. So how does Snapchat fit into this? Because I feel like there's so many misconceptions when I read about this topic. Obviously, I'm very passionate about it. You know, people are like, oh, well, teens are using Snapchat now because you have to hide the photo and there's a limited amount of time. But it's not about hiding or deception, right? It's more, what is it about Snapchat? Why are we seeing this migration? And then similarly, oh, they're leaving Facebook for Snapchat. Not also true.
Right, so part of it is that Facebook is a place where now everybody is there.
Right.
And that's really great when you want to post a picture that you want everybody to see. It's not so great when you want to hang out with your friends and not have to hang out with your parents at the same time.
Right.
So the thing is that young people are treating Facebook in many ways the ways that we treat email now, which is that email used to be fun. You've got mail. You were like, yes.
Yes.
And now you're like, oh, you've got mail.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
So it's like that's
you
kind
have to
of
star
the
your mail.
Yeah, but you still check your mail, and they
Right.
still check Facebook.
Right.
Snapchat is a sort of interesting beast in all of this because Snapchat changes the rules. So many of social media have been about like, let's make it persistent. Everything you ever share should be available forever.
Accessible, right.
As you know, part of it is I don't want to keep everything.
Yeah.
It's just not that interesting. And if I tell you something funny, it just doesn't need to be shared later.
Right.
So there's this moment of making it ephemeral. But the thing that Snapchat did, probably accidentally, but is brilliant, is that it also changed the rules about consumption.
Right.
So if you're looking at Instagram, you're sitting there, you're flicking through, you're barely paying attention to it. But you're not even acknowledging it because there's so much of it. You know,
Right.
Twitter, it's just like there's
Yeah.
just too much.
Yeah.
Whereas what Snapchat says is like, hey, you've got 7 seconds, pay attention. This is pretty phenomenal. So you see
really
this moment of saying, I'm not gonna look at this now, I'll save this snap for later because I can't pay attention. And now I'm gonna pay attention for 7 seconds. And it changes
That's
the
really
focus
interesting.
game.
When we talk about identity and how it actually plays out, I mean, there are parents who I would imagine are perplexed by this kind of phenomenon, if you will. I don't know if this is a product of the internet or all these social platforms, but this notion that, you know, there'll be a dainty, polite, young girl who's polite around her parents and, you know, what have you. And then online, she's, you know, posting more hard-hitting things or subversive things or lewd things. And they're kind of like, that immediately, and understandably, I would say, triggers this fear of, oh, I don't know my daughter. Like, she would never post that. And yet, no, your daughter would, just not around you. And are those barriers okay? Is that a phenomenon that parents should come to understand or you know, follow without condemning? Because it seems natural. I mean, I did that when I was a kid.
We've all rebelled,
even without
right?
Facebook, exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's what's tricky is that we often rebelled and parents never caught on.
Right, right.
Now you actually have traces of it and parents can see it and they kind of flip out.
Right.
Even when they themselves did it.
Yeah.
It's just always a little challenging. I think part of it is to realize that these identities that young people are working out are trying to find independence. They're trying to figure out what works. And so they'll try something on and it doesn't click, it doesn't give them the reaction they want from their peers.
Yeah.
They'll shift a little bit, trying to look cool in a different way. It's important to remember that the one thing that young people have control over in their lives is status and reputation and peer popularity.
Right.
And so they're constantly tussling with this.
And it matters a lot.
And it matters a lot, but it's never under adult norms.
Right.
And that's what makes it tricky. And so part of it as a parent is to not say, oh, you
And
should
to
not.
get it.
Yeah, it's not like to reject your child's efforts at this, but to say, okay, you know, think this through. How do you ask them questions where it's like, you know, go be with your friends, but realize there are other people looking in.
Right.
Realize that this is how these things get interpreted.
Yeah.
And it's those moments. I mean, you know, when I was a teenager, I shaved my head, which was the perfect way of making my mother extraordinarily upset.
Yes.
Right? And she would, you know,
My
yell
sister
and
did it too,
scream.
so don't worry.
She would yell and scream. She was just like, I can't believe you've done this. And it was really funny because my grandmother, she didn't even need to scream. She looked at me and she goes, looks like you were in the Holocaust, and walks off. And you were like, all of a sudden I was like, that was not what I was
the reaction you want, yeah,
you know,
of
but
course.
it was those moments of like, which reactions do you
are effective.
and which ones are you looking for, right?
Right.
You know, my mother being upset.
That's yeah, of course you.
Now, do you ever wonder how your boring friend gets so many Twitter followers? Well, they could be buying them. HuffPost Tech recently published a piece on how Facebook likes are bought and sold.